You started with the champagne upstairs, Louis Roederer. That's our Four Seasons private label champagne. And down here, you're drinking our Four Seasons private label Iconoclast wines. So our Cabernet Sauvignon from the Stag's Leap District, and then the Iconoclast from the Russian River Valley Chardonnay. So really nice Four Seasons private label wines that you'll see here. So again, Executive Chef Fabrizio, I'll let him kind of talk about the food and the rest.
So welcome to everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here. And so let's talk a little bit about first the whole idea behind the whole building. So I'm the executive chef for the whole property. So that's what you mean. Obviously, I need to hire all the chefs to work with me, to help me to build all the team. So most of them, they work with me in Tampa, in St. Louis, and other places. So that's the good part. It's easy to work all together. What we have, my philosophy on food is to have everything fresh. Everything you can make in-house, make them in-house. So we have a wonderful butcher, which is going to make some charcuterie. I have the pastry chef, all the pastry is going to be made in-house. All the pasta is homemade. All the pizza, everything we do is going to be homemade. All the meat is going to be fabricated in-house. So it's very nice to be in a place like this and be able to do it with nice staff, great food and beverage director and assistant and so on and on. Ravello, what happened with Ravello? Ravello, as everybody knows, is the city, one of the main cities in the Costiera Amalfitana. Anybody ever been to Amalfi? Yeah, you see, I love you already. So, Amalfi. So what is famous Amalfi for? The lemon, right? Okay, good. So all the stuff, I'm from Piemonte, so totally not in the other side. But it's okay, we make it work. And obviously, I love Italian food. I went to school in Italy. In the beginning, we said, oh, we're going to have an Italian chef. Then we went back and forth, and Steve got the bright idea. He said, you're already here, why have a chef? So we got all my two chefs. I bring them from Tampa and St. Louis. And they know already what I'm looking for. And we use all my recipe, all my menu for Ravello. And Ravello, what is based on? Like every pasta for me, it got a spirit inside. You know, Palazzo chef, they use the same dough for everything now. Like this is the sfogliavello, the ravioli sfogliavello, the one that I'm plating right now. What it is really, really thin dough. Usually we use them in Italy when you make the agnolotti al plin, it's the same dough. But obviously it's done in a different way. You got veal, shoulder, which is braised in white wine, celery, and a little bit of onion, and then it's pulled apart and mixed with spinach and ricotta. Same thing goes for like the pappardelle. We're going to have a pasta strudel, so everything is made in-house on this side. The ingredient, I try to use everything from Florida, wherever I can find. It doesn't matter if it's pork, if it's fish, if it's beef. Whatever I can use local, I will use local. Everything else, like the olive oil, all these things, they all come from Italy, straight from Italy. Even the tomato. Because many times, as you know, it changes the taste on the food when you start to use ingredients that are straight like from Italy, like the tomato. Last week I get really mad in the kitchen. I never get mad, but yeah. And I tried the bolognese, it was sweet. Then I look in the garbage can, there's this American tomato and they put sugar inside. It wasn't their fault. But, you know, things like that for me is important. I take them to heart. And more than working on the plate and touch so much the ingredient, I like the simplicity and taste the food. So that's the philosophy behind all the food and beverage, Ravello, everything else we do in the hotel. Anybody has any question for me?
I'll tell a couple more things about this room. So the room you're standing in right now, this is our demonstration kitchen. So this is our Ravello demo kitchen. This room will serve a lot of different purposes. On our character breakfast, this will be seating for the guests and for the children coming in to enjoy the breakfasts. For our catering clients and such, this room will be used for our site inspection visits, our tastings, when the prospective clients will be able to offer them cooking right here with Fabrizio and our banquet chef Erhan right in front of them. And then this will be a great opportunity for us where we'll be able to offer cooking classes for resort guests. Fabrizio, when he has chefs that he's welcoming in from the community or outside the community, a great place to bring them in here and do demonstrations for our cooks and internally, as well as for our resort guests and for guests in the public. So we're really excited about having this space. This gentleman right here, this is Don. Don is our AM Ravello chef, so Don runs our breakfast. As I mentioned, the character breakfasts are 3 days a week, 18 weeks of the year, then 2 days a week for the rest of the year. In addition to that, 7 days a week, this restaurant will offer a full breakfast buffet. So we have a fun health and wellness section, we have a great gluten-free section, we have a hot section where we rotate through signature hot entrees such as the PB&G beef brisket Benedict, we're doing lobster Benedicts, and then some of the more usual suspects like eggs Benedict and warm eggs and breakfast meats and such. So we're excited about that. The gentleman on my other end here, this is Sam. Sam is our executive sous chef. So Sam is the second in command behind Chef Fabrizio. Sam came from our Four Seasons Resort in Maui, so you'll see him throughout everywhere. And then while we're here and we're going to serve this up, I'm going to talk briefly about Capa while you're in the restaurant, while you're trying these things. So Capa is our rooftop steakhouse. That is our rooftop Spanish steakhouse. That is opening in September. We have the general manager right here, Josh Aronson. Josh comes from Four Seasons San Francisco. Josh is also our wine director for the resort. And then we have Tim. Tim is our restaurant chef for Capa. Tim joins us from New York City. He's cooked at a lot of great places. He actually got his start with Fabrizio in Tampa about 10 years ago, and left and went to cook at Jose Garces in Chicago, went to Spiaggi in Chicago, rented 2 Michelin star restaurant, then went up to New York and opened the Nomad in New York City, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, a very highly regarded restaurant, and then went out to Brooklyn, Williamsburg area, where he's been the chef with Reynard over at the White Hotel in Brooklyn. So very excited to have him out here helming the kitchen up there. And again, Josh will be running the front of the house. And Josh will come up here and speak a little bit about Costa's, talk about the restaurant for you. One of the other things to note about our restaurants is authenticity, right? It doesn't get any more authentic than Mr. Torino here himself, the Italian restaurant. But he sourced the water that we'll use in the restaurant from Torino. Some of the candies, if you want to mention that.
Yeah, which is everything we use, including, not just for the restaurant, for the hotel. He tried to keep them as close to the reality. So the Spanish is Spanish, the Latin America is going to be Latin America. For the Italian, they're going to be the Fuji, the Ferrarelle water, the Caramelle Leone. In Latitude Split, where you're going to go later on, you're going to have all the bomboloni, all different stuff. Then there are all things that you ever had time to find in the United States. And actually, we opened a bomboloni bar in St. Louis with Steven. And it was very successful. So bomboloni, I think everybody knows what it is. Anyway, is the Italian version of the donut. But what is, it's more like a brioche, the dough. It's between a brioche and a donut. Something in between like that. And you stuff them before you fry them. And then what it is much more, much lighter. It's not as oily. Then you pass in granulated sugar before you serve it. So just to give you some of the examples. Even we're going to have also the pizza upstairs later on, served by the meter like we do in Italy, the focaccia like from Camogli. So I'm very excited to see everything coming together. And I hope you come back and try all these things in a month or two, okay?
Yes, Jeff, a question. The dishes that we're preparing, can you describe a little bit?
Yes, what we have on my right, which is your left, we have the ravioli, which is the ravioli sfogliabello. They are stuffed with veal shoulder, which is braised with celery, pinot grigio, and onion. Then it's pulled apart, mixed with ricotta, and it's a goat ricotta. And Parmesan cheese and eggs. Then we have the truffle essence with wild mushroom and shaved Parmesan cheese. And on my left is my intake of tuna. As you know, tuna in Italy, we cook them well. I don't like it, obviously, after so many years. So what it is, it's a rare tuna, which has been coated with cardamom seeds, a little bit of sesame seed, and mustard seed. I toast them, then I pass it through the coffee grounded and sire turea. In the bottom we have the caponata, saba, and basil oil.
Thank you very much. Just a quick note on the wines that we're drinking. So the two wines that we're drinking, Iconoclast Cabernet Sauvignon and Iconoclast Chardonnay. We're extremely proud at the Four Seasons. These wines are specifically made for us, and both of them are AVA from specific AVAs in Napa and Sonoma. The Chardonnay is from Russian River, and the Cabernet Sauvignon is from the Stag's Leap District, both made by Chimney Rock Winery. So we're extremely excited to have these. We're definitely not calling these our house wines. These are our exclusive wines, poured in most of the Four Seasons across North America and across the Americas. So that is what we're drinking.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,